God, this one's gonna hurt. As a lifelong Wizards fan, I can talk about the San Antonio Spurs with no pain in my heart. um, the San Antonio Spurs. Let's just talk about what they lost. Let's talk about what they lost because they were cleaning house this offseason. Trey Lyles, Patty Mills, Nate Renfro. Who cares about Nate Renfro? DeMar DeRozan in a side trade. Gorgie Ding. Rudy Gay had a nice little newspaper article about how it's waving by to everybody. They added Al Farouk Amino, Thaddeus Young, Dougie McDermott. The San Antonio Spurs are as young as they have been in decades.
Yeah.
And they've got Greg Popovich coaching them for the 26th season. They were 33 and 39 last season. They're going to be worse this season for sure. They're starting Dejounte Murray, Derek White, Keldon Johnson. That's the good. They're going to have Podol at center, who is not a starting center in the NBA. You're not going to ever convince me of that. And then Dougie McDermott at the 4, who is going to get his ass handed to him by pretty much 90% of the 4s in the league, even though he's going to score a little bit. What does this team do from here on out? This is, I hate to say this, Pop has to be on his way out the door with this team, right?
I can't believe that Pop came back with this team. That is
right.
What blows my mind. This is the team I think that makes Pop realize he wants to retire from the NBA. I don't think Pop will retire after this year. I think he'll give it one more year, hoping they can bring in some talent, maybe through free agency or something. It kills me to see Pop have to roll with this roster, knowing what he's essentially coached. I think Murray's going to be a stud. He's one of my favorite guards in the league. I think he's super underrated because he plays in BFE San Antonio. Derek White, I'm like wishy-washy on. I like Keldon Johnson more after watching a little bit of the Olympics, having to watch replays. I wasn't staying up to watch half of those. But they were a team missing multiple pieces. And like, again, who's your top scoring option? Murray's going to get you some buckets. Are you going to rely on Doug McDermott as your number 2 scorer or rely on Derek White as your number 2 scorer? Like, you're not going to win a lot of games when Murray has to exhaust so much effort on both sides of the floor and then go to sign like not so great second and third options.
This is the only reason that I like Popovich with this team, because Popovich's teams have been based around sharing scoring. The swing he runs is essentially, we don't have a superstar, but he's got to have very, very good passing. I mean, he's got some of that. If you want to give Podol something, he's a good passing big man. But like this team, they're gonna struggle. They're gonna struggle shooting outside, which Derek White is kind of like John Starks-ish. If you want to give that kind of, like, he's very hot and cold there. And in the Western Conference, dude, like Pop's gonna give some of the best. This, you want to get the highlight? You want to know what the watchability is? Pop's halftime interviews
and technical fouls.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. I think I'm going to make a prediction.
Don't do it.
No, not for the team. Not for the team,
okay.
For the coaching. I think Becky Hammon's coaching the Spurs when this is all said and done. I think Pop takes a lot of, not this year.
Okay, I was like, he's not going to quit mid-year.
No. I don't think he quits mid-year. Okay, I think that Pop takes a lot of pride in the fact that he is one of those guys that brought female coaching to the forefront. I think he's getting this team ready for her. I think she should have been the coach of the Trailblazers this offseason. She could have gotten way more looks than she did. I think this is the team that he's building for her. I think he's here to get these guys all set up in the whole Spurs mindset, which he's already instilled in her. And I think he's just setting up for her. I think he walks away to his own, and I think she's the incumbent.
But I don't think he walks away until he knows the team is going to be capable and give her a fighting chance. Because you do not hand Becky Hammon this team and say, good luck, because she's going to be fired. And then it's going to be, oh, women can't coach, blah, blah, blah. When that should not be the narrative, right? Like, Becky Hammon is a great coach. We've seen what she's done with the Spurs already on the Olympic side, too. She was a great pro in her own day. Hopefully this team is like the stepping stone for him to build them to be a capable roster so that she has something to mold, not just sand falling through her hands saying, what do I do with this? You left me with it.
If you want to know where the Spurs are sitting in this rebuild, they drafted Joshua Primo in the first round with a 12 overall, when there were a lot of other more polished picks there. And coming out of school as a freshman, like, They knew this wasn't the year, and they're going to work him into the lineup. So, Sacramento Kings up next. They add Alex Len, Tristan Thompson, Davey Mitchell, who I love in the NBA draft, and Nemias Keita. They lose not a ton. I mean, they lose Hassan Whiteside, who's a shell of his former self, and Yogi Ferrell. I mean, that's really all they lost in this. They were 31-41 last year under Luke Walton. Luke Walton, I'm going to say Luke Walton is a little in the hot seat here, but at the same time, I think a lot of that is not his doing. I do like how he coaches this squad. They're going to have Darren Fox, Buddy Hield, for however long they have Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Marvin Bagley, and Rashawn Holmes as their starters. Talk to me about, first of all, Luke Walton and how you feel he builds his team. And then second of all, Davey Mitchell and his capability in the NBA.
Yeah, Luke Walton, I think, doesn't make it through the entire NBA season, and it's not because he does a terrible job coaching. I think with what he has, he's going to do. I think Luke Walton's a perfectly fine coach. I don't consider him a top tier coach, but I consider him a very solid coach for sure, with still some upside in his career. I'm worried more so about his job because of the owner, and then also you have Vlade Divac, who's going to just smoke a cigarette and tell him good luck. Right. Davey Mitchell, I like a ton. He is smaller. I think he's like 6'1", maybe 6 foot. So I think that's going to be a little bit harder for him in the NBA than it is in college, because you're playing. The NBA guards have gotten significantly taller over the past couple of years. So I do think,
for sure,
while he is a great defender, he's going to have to find a different way to play because of the athleticism on some of the taller guys he has to go against. I love Darren Fox, again, a dude that if he played in New York, he'd be a household name, but he plays in Sacramento, so half the fan bases to know who he is, or know how good he is, I should say, more than anything.
Right.
Buddy Hield, I still can't believe he's not playing for the Lakers. I thought that trade was signed, sealed, and delivered. That didn't ultimately end up happening. Halliburton's great. I worry about Marvin Bagley, though. He's missed a stupid amount of games for a variety of injuries the past couple of seasons.
Yep.
I don't see anything of substance for them, which sucks because De'Aaron Fox is such a good player. He reminds me so much of a young John Wall, which is a compliment, because the young John Wall was so much fun to watch when he got the turnover issues sort of handled.
Yeah, for sure.
I just feel like 30-ish wins for the Kings, some highlight moments for sure. But this is a team that I think they have to get rid of some of those guys that are sort of missing a lot of games, trade into a team that maybe thinks they can get something out of them, and recoup their losses with some draft picks and build up the next couple of years.
I agree with you to a point. Davey Mitchell's a college defender and will be a college defender for his entire career. He's an excellent college defender. He's going to get pushed around. Here is where I think the big thing happens with the Kings, and this is what saves Luke Walton's job. You ready for this? Buddy Hield doesn't end up playing for the Kings the full season. He ends up playing for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, I like that fit.
I think Simmons is the guy that comes over in that trade. Be very clear. I want you to understand where this goes. They're gonna trade Ben Simmons to the Sacramento Kings to essentially purgatory for him, where he doesn't ever have to worry about any media caring anything about what he does. And they're gonna bring Buddy Hield in. And Buddy Hield is going to ignite that 76ers offense like you can't believe. I want you to think
Paul
about Buddy.
doesn't let it happen. Rich Paul does not let that happen.
Dude, what's Rich Paul going to do?
He's going to say he won't play for you. And Vlade Divac will say, I call your bluff.
Yeah, right. Rich Paul, listen to me. He went to the 76ers asking if he could get money back for not showing, for his client not showing up. That you heard that story, right? Ben Simmons was suspended from the first game for being disengaged on his cell phone at team practice by Doc Rivers. By the way, good on you, Doc Rivers, for standing up, by the way. Ben Simmons, and then sent Rich Paul to the Sixers and said, hey, can I get some of this money back? What?
This is